Thanks, listeners, for joining us. Today's Elko Live here on Elko's hometown radio station. You're listening to KELK. I'm your host, Lori Gilbert, and we're very excited to be featuring our guest from Elko County, Mybrary. That's right, it's time to talk spring and summer fun activities, as well as all the various amenities, the things that we get to enjoy as being part of a public library system right here in our community. Kassie Antonnucci is our Mybrary director, and she has brought with her the chair, or actually the president of the Mybrary Board of Directors, Tammi Cracraft Dickenson. Welcome, ladies, both of you.
Thank you for having us.
It's great to get to see you and to talk about, I'm going to turn on your microphone, Tammi. You don't want that to happen.
Don't invite me and then not let me talk.
Exactly.
I see the game that's being played here. Okay.
Yeah, we gotcha now. We gotcha. So the big thing that I know, I even text you earlier because, Kassie, I've been so anxious. Tell us the status of our beloved bookmobile, won't you?
I will. I know a lot of people have been anxious. We get questions all the time. So we are happy to announce we do have a new driver. So he just started last week. His name's Juan Guerrero. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. We're really excited. He has a great background in, mechanics and driving the large vehicles, but also he's going to school to be a teacher. So he's got the substitute teaching. So we're hoping, he's got that balance that we're looking for to be a part of our community. The truck itself is not on the road.
You can never have everything at once.
Yes.
It is repaired from the accident that it did have last year. We did get that fixed. It's just doing some routine maintenance. We have to do the brakes, rotate the tires before it's able to go back on the road. So hopefully in the next week or two, we do have a schedule out. One thing that will be different that was unfortunate this year, we did lose the federal funding for the bookmobile. So in order to make sure we could continue to have it on the road, we did reduce its hours. So instead of our normal 40-hour a week, it's a 30-hour a week. But we tried to keep as much of the route as possible. So we've squeezed it all in.
And I think that's probably what's most important to the communities that you visit, is that they still get their bookmobile time.
Yes.
Yes. They still get their visit. I'm sure it's been missed terribly. And maybe just to remind listeners who may not be familiar with what a bookmobile serves, who it serves, where it goes. Kassie?
So our bookmobile goes all the way north to Mountain City and then all the way down to Baker, Lehman Caves, that area. So at one point we did have the third largest route in the country, and we basically serve all the rural areas that are too far away to access a physical library easily, and where it's not necessarily feasible or cost efficient to build a library. So we've stopped at honor camps. We help supplement the school library. So we stop at the charter schools, the elementary schools. In the summers, we'll stop at the parks, grocery stores, just trying to get the books out to wherever people need them.
And that is also a wonderful service for the communities to make some connections. There's some technology available usually, Kassie, right? Hotspots, things like that?
Yes. So we have Starlink. I had to think of what it was called for a second. The Mybrary Mobile has Starlink on it. So all of our patrons will have dedicated Wi-Fi while the truck is in the area. We are getting ready to have STEM kits available. We're just finished cataloging them, so we have a lot of really nice kits for the kids on computer programming and even like for pre-kindergarten, language learning, different things like that. So those will be available for request on the truck. We have adventure backpacks, all sorts of things. And if it's not on the truck when it makes a stop by you, all you have to do is ask and it'll be there next time.
That's great. Always something to look forward to. Of course, our bookmobile is like today's contemporary Wells Fargo wagon.
Yes.
Bringing you all kinds of goodies.
Well, we've had a bookmobile on the road since '76. So we are one of Nevada's historic bookmobiles. We're actually covered in the governor's legislative budget. We're one of only 3 in the state that are grandfathered in as part of the governor's budget.
Kassie, that's fantastic. And what a thing to consider when we're celebrating America 250 this summer.
Exactly.
Yay. We'll talk more about that, I'm sure. And then let's just remind folks, too, that our Elko Mybrary at 720 Court Street is part of a system of Mybraries located in other rural communities throughout Elko County.
Yes, so Elko and Eureka County, we have 8 libraries in addition to the bookmobile. We cover Jackpot, Tuscarora, Wells, Wendover, Carlin, Crescent Valley, Eureka. And your library card is good at all of them, but it's also good at any Nevada library in the state. So Nevada does have a one card sort of policy at the state level that any Nevada library card is good at any Nevada library.
It's reciprocal. That's so exciting. Wow, that's a wonderful resource. And again, any Elko County resident is eligible, right? I think we talked about this before. If you are old enough to sign your name, is that right? Yeah.
So you do have to be 5 to get a library card. If you're under 18, you do need a guardian or a parent, but basically all we need is an ID and a local mailing address, and you qualify.
All right.
And if you don't live here, but maybe you travel here for work, then we can take something showing that you work here, and that counts as well.
Kassie Antonnucci is our Mybrary director. We're so pleased to have you and Tammi here with us today, visiting and catching us up. So Tammi, I think we covered the bookmobile, but Tammi, would you want to tell us about some of the exciting spring and summer programs that are coming our way? Well, between the two of you.
Kassie, you'll have to fill in the gaps. The thing that I'm most excited about every year is the summer reading program. So we started with the rebranding of putting it out, we're issue a challenge, can we beat the minutes? Can we beat the minutes? And we keep increasing the goals kind of astronomically, and they keep just blowing right past it. So that is really what I'm most excited to see, because, these kids are home all summer. We have screens. There are other things to do, and they are putting in the time and earning the minutes. And adults are too. Like, adults can participate in the adult version of the summer reading. And it's blowing my mind that I'm trying to remember what the original goal was. Was it like
the original was about 700,000 minutes, and now I think this year's goal is 1 million minutes.
Yeah, it's just insane.
Yeah,
just and that's a little light reading for the summer.
I was going to say, and it's for the summer. Yeah, just this duration of time.
It's not an astronomically long period of time, and the community keeps showing up for us and meeting and exceeding it every year. And it gets me so excited because I'm a nerd. I've always loved summer reading. My kids do, my teen doesn't do summer reading anymore. She's too cool for it. But my little one, who happens to be in studio with us today, he does it. And it's so great to see just how excited they get. They go and look at the prizes, and they can pick out their little prize. They just get excited. So
it's something to do during this. And summer reading programs have been around for, I think, almost as long as libraries. Kassie, I think that would be a safe bet, because it's a great way to encourage and to continue learning. I don't know if you wanted to talk about that, but it as Tammi said, it's not just for kids, but it encourages a number of really important things.
Yes, so it's a way for students to keep up on their literacy skills while out of school, because studies have shown there is a decline when you have that 3-month break over the summer in
they
what
call
they've
it
learned.
The summer slip.
Yes.
So this is a fun way to keep kids engaged, and it's fun for the adults that participate as well, because they come in. We've got the challenges for them every week. We've got book reviews where they can win prizes, but we also have programs that they can attend. So they get to make friends with other parents who have similar interests, or, it's a chance for them while their child is doing crafts in the children's area to have a break with the grown-ups in the different part of the library. So it's just fun all around.
Really nice community engagement. Is now the time to get signed up for summer reading, or what would you say, Kassie?
So right now we're in the process of looking for community sponsorships. So we're in talks with Nevada Gold Mines, which has traditionally been our largest sponsor year to year. And then we've also had Orla Mining reach out, and of course Total Eye Care, which always does a coloring contest and different things like that. So if anyone's interested, any local businesses would like to participate or anything, the theme this year is Dig into History, which goes well with that America 250. And then for the kids, we're actually going to focus on archaeology, dinosaurs. We've got a lot of fun programs planned around that. So just a lot of great stuff there. Registration will actually open May 25th, and then the program kicks off the Monday after that, so that first week of July.
Okay, it's coming right up before you know it. And is the spring extravaganza something separate from the summer reading program?
That is. So that will happen April 3rd, and that is sort of our Easter event that the library does every year. So that'll be April 3rd from 9 to 11. It's a Friday morning. We'll have games, crafts, things, for the family to do. And then the Easter Bunny will make an appearance.
Nice.
So definitely stop by and get your photos taken with the Easter Bunny. It is free, as all library programs are.
That is Friday, April 3rd. The spring extravaganza will really kick off the season, but there are so many ongoing, upcoming events and activities, and our local Mybrary is involved in education, as well as you described, Kassie, the community engagement, which is so important for us. In fact, I think the next topic that we want to discuss is coming right up to in April. It's something the Mybrary does every year, the Holocaust Remembrance.
So actually, this will be our first.
Oh, this one will be.
Yes. So we are a part of the Holocaust Museum for the state. We're one of 3 locations. We have a special collection, the Holocaust collection. We do host our annual Holocaust book club, which is open right now for anyone that is interested to sign up. They can come in and get the books and be a part of that discussion. This year, we actually had the Holocaust Museum reach out to us, and they have a traveling exhibit focusing on the history, what led up to the war, what happened during, the things that are important for us to remember so that history doesn't repeat itself. We've also been working on putting together some local history. We did have some soldiers here from Elko that went over to see the atrocities for themselves, and it's documented. So we'll have a display that people can come in and read and learn about the Holocaust, and then also get a little bit of local history and how that impacted Elko.
Oh, Kassie, thank you for reminding us of that. That'll be an outside exhibit that comes through, but it really complements the work of, I think, that Hadley Noren had done for years,
yes.
right? In making sure we had the right collection of books and
yes.
history available to us. And I notice you're nodding, Tammi. Did you want to say anything about, again, how libraries play a role in accessing history and information as the board president?
I could say a lot about that. I'm trying to think of a way to say it concisely. Libraries serve a lot of purposes, community centers, and yes, it's a place where you can get books and you can get a DVD, whatever floats your boat, maybe play some chess. And on the flip side, and in conjunction with that, it's actively preserving history. So even as collections change, even as things evolve, even as services change and evolve, there's always that history. It's always right there. It might not be on the shelf. It might not be as easily accessible, but it's somewhere. It's probably in our basement. For sure, really and truly.
Mm-hmm. It's a repository.
It is, and it becomes, I always think it's very essential that those that don't remember their history are doomed to repeat it. And so it's important that we don't, yes, live in the moment, absolutely, but don't become so myopic that you're only living in the present. Make sure you're looking at where you came from and the things you might not want to repeat. And the only way you're going to know that as we get further and further and further from certain events is going back, going to our libraries and researching these events. The Holocaust is a great example. We've gotten far enough away from it that, I grew up with people that, lived World War II and had the anecdotal experiences that were being shared in public spaces. And as time goes on and you lose those people, those stories start to fade. And then you start to get weird things like, oh, maybe the Holocaust didn't happen, and things like that. And it's like, no, you need to go back and do the research, read the stories, and preserve the stories so that we don't repeat those situations.
You wanted to add to that, Kassie.
I did. One of my favorite things to share about why we do have so much documented history around the Holocaust and the images that we do. I mean, if you think about it, we don't have a lot of war imagery, that shows all of the details that you can see from the Holocaust. It's pretty sad. It's distressing.
It's very tragic, and it was very personal. It was very human or dehumanizing. Yes.
The reason those photos exist, the stories exist, and they continue to exist, was Winston Churchill knew that if you did not document history as it was, there would come a day when people questioned, did it actually happen? And so as the camps were being taken back from the Nazis, part of what he did was he didn't allow soldiers to go through and clean up the camps. He wanted journalists to go through first. So those photos had to, everything had to be documented before the camps were allowed to be taken apart. Because he knew, having, being a history buff himself, what to expect in 100 years.
Wow, one of the most obviously influential military leaders of a lifetime, and he had this foresight to do that.
He did.
Yes.
That story's always stuck with me.
Oh yeah, that just gave me goosebumps to think about that, because we don't find that mindset. We don't find someone as predisposed, I guess, to actually acknowledge the horrors of war once they've been involved in the military. They've been in the theater. They've been directing. These most. Well, Kassie, that's fascinating. Thank you for sharing that with us, and again, bringing to our local community the stories of local, perhaps liberators, or at least people who saw that for themselves.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, they went there to help clean up in the aftermath, and also documented what they saw. So we have stories from local community members that we've put together. And the library, we do have, as a Nevada library, we do have a responsibility. While we're not an archive, we do our best to preserve local history and state history. So we do have Nevada collections. We have reference books that can't be checked out, and that's usually because they're 100 years old and irreplaceable. But we also have books that can be checked out for anyone that is interested. We try to preserve local authors or books that specifically talk about Elko County. And then we also have the Elko Daily Free Press going back 100 years.
And people can access those in archive, and they can also subscribe to the Free Press via the library. Is that right, Kassie?
That is. So we have a subscription to what's called Newsbank. So they actually have access to thousands of newspapers. Elko Free Press is one of them, and all you need to log in is a library card. So, but they would have access to the Las Vegas newspaper. Ely Times is in there, Salt Lake. So it's a great resource, and we encourage people to use it.
Kassie Antonnucci is our Elko County Mybrary Director. We appreciate all of this information. We've talked about it before, but you could come in once a week just because there's so much going on in Mybrary. So let's talk about with Tammi, because she chairs the Board of Trustees for Elko County Mybrary. How do we pay for all of this, right, Tammi?
How do we?
Exactly. It's budget season.
Well, that's one thing I can definitely toot the horn for our fearless director here. Cassie's been doing this a long time. She's extremely skilled at what she does. And so year after year, we've sort of been facing flat budgets coupled with increased attendance, probably isn't the right word, but usage. and coming up with creative ways to still give the public what they want and what they need while operating under a flat or even sometimes declining budget. And we're super fortunate that we have Kassie, who has found ways to meet those needs and continue to meet the needs. And Kassie is the leader, but there is a whole staff underneath that is actively working, and they are so creative, and they are so they're just in tune with what people are looking for. And couple all that together with some strong leadership, and they are producing programming, and they're producing collections that the people want to use, and some of it is just flat out need. The legal services. We have an amazing reference librarian that I send people to her all the time. In my course of work, I work for the county, and somebody will come in and say, "Oh my gosh, I don't know how to find this," and I'll say, "Down the block, you want to ask for Jess, and she's gonna, she'll help you figure it out." And I would say 95% of the time, they return to my office to say, "Oh my gosh, I didn't know, that somebody could answer that question so fast and so easy. And number two, I didn't know everything had changed in the library, and I'm going to go back. I'm going to use it now." And so, we're so blessed in our community to have the library that we have and the staff that we have, because, we get feedback all the time from people coming from other communities, from larger communities with even more tax revenue getting funneled into their systems than what we have, and they'll say, "You offer so much more than what we had in our previous community." And I worked in the Provo City Library many years ago, and it was a brand new facility. Massive tax revenue was funding it, and as beautiful as it is, I would say hands down the programming that we are offering was beating that library out. I couldn't speak to it now, that was a long time ago, but it was almost jarring to come back to my little library in Elko that I'd gone to as a kid, and then work in libraries in Reno and Provo, and then come back to this library and be like, okay, it's a little library, but it's competing. It's making it work. And then to become a trustee and actually see the money, or the lack of money, and see what they're accomplishing with such little tax revenue it's just phenomenal. And it's a testament to Kassie's leadership, because you can't do that if you don't have strong creative people who know how to deliver on a shoestring budget. So
Kassie, we appreciate you and the board too.
Yes.
Trustees who will.
They're great too. I shouldn't leave them out. They're also great.
Well, they help to guide these decisions, and I know that that's part of what you're doing right now, is that you're planning for the future. I did want to give you a chance, Kassie, because I think the last time we talked, ALS funding was zeroed out, right? Didn't we get ALS funding back, American Library System?
The Institute for Museum and Library Science, it's kind of confusing, to be honest.
Oh dear, okay.
So it was funded, and then the funding was taken away, and then it was going to be funded again, and then there was the shutdown.
Oh, it's still in flux, okay.
And then supposedly it's funded for the rest of the year, so the state's moving forward with some of the library grants, but not everything we had before, because it's not guaranteed. We're sort of floating with everyone else, and what's going to happen.
So we do really need to express our appreciation for Elko County commissioners who do make decisions, right, about ultimate funding for Mybrary, Kassie. I mean, you control your own budget, but you only get so much money.
We do, and they have been very generous these last few years in working with us and taking our needs into consideration when budget cuts are on the table, and we're like, here's what we can offer, here's what we need, how can we make this work? So we have been fortunate in that we haven't received severe cuts. When I started 14 years or so ago, I did walk into large budget cuts from multiple counties, since we were a multi-county district, and those were tough times. So I've learned a lot since then, and I wouldn't say I'm a good negotiator, but we've found ways to meet in the middle.
I think we can tell you're a good negotiator, Kassie. Really, thank you. And obviously there's work to be done if people want to continue to support or see the Mybrary supported in this way. And you're in the process now of evaluating, is that right?
So we are in year 4 of our strategic plan, meaning this next year we will have to come up with our next 5-year plan. So this is sort of kicking it off. This is Tammy's probably looking at me like,
has it been that long already?
It doesn't seem, because that's when we became Mybrary.
It is.
Yes, I remember.
Time
but still.
flies when you're having fun.
Yes, definitely.
So, and I think we've made good progress with the plan we had, but it's time to update it and make sure we are still meeting the needs of the community. Are there things that we didn't accomplish that we should continue working on, or should we change focus? So we're really interested in hearing from our community. We do have a general email they can send information to at info@exploremybrary.org. They can come in and talk to me directly, whatever they're comfortable with. But any feedback, programs they'd like to see, programs they've enjoyed, services that they, want us to consider, even things that maybe they don't like that we've done. We're always open to that sort of feedback as well. And I think an example would be weeding. I don't know how many people are familiar with the term when it comes to libraries, but it's very similar to gardening. When it's time to clear space for something new, we weed. So books that are outdated, aren't getting used, or maybe are falling apart, we take them off the shelves and we discard them. And that could look in a multitude of ways. It could be us donating it to another agency. Right now we have a lot of books for sale. So anytime you buy those books, that money is used for programming or to purchase new books. And then last case scenario would be recycling or throwing them out, which I know is hard because we all love books. And the thought of a library getting rid of books is sort of a, oh my goodness, how could you moment?
But it makes way for the new.
It makes way for the new. And unfortunately, we only have so much space. Mm-hmm. And every library does this. This isn't unique to us, but I have had conversations with patrons that come in and are so upset that books are, that we're taking books off the shelf. And it's not a matter of, this is our policy, this is what it is. It's, well, let's sit down and talk and let's understand what about this process is upsetting, and coming to sort of an understanding. And like, while we do continue having to weed, here's a solution to what you're concerned about. If you think we're getting rid of history and we're getting rid of resources for people to learn, well, we're going to offer programming about, the Revolutionary War and teaching people, with the America 250, this is the perfect year for it. If we get rid of history books, we always purchase new history books because they just need to be updated. So, conversations like that, just if you have questions about why the library does something, we're open to all of that.
They're all very nice there. Don't be scared to go in and talk to them.
Yeah.
And we also encourage people to come to Mybrary board meetings. They're monthly, and come talk to the trustees. Come meet us. We're pretty decent people. And you can reach out to us, in the community too. Like, there's me, and I'm out there. I'm on social media. And I'm at everything because I belong to everything. But we also have, like, Jenny Ecker is our current vice president. We've got Lee Gurr, who's pretty well known. And then our 2 newest trustees, Rebecca Hockley, and our very newest one, who just got appointed, is Amber, and I'm going to butcher her last name, Pwahi. So
Very
she
nice.
just started
approved
yesterday.
by the county commission.
Yes, the county commissioners opted to replace a former trustee who was actually being honored today at the commission meeting, Robbie Nickel, who was amazing, had a wealth of library experience. So we're saying goodbye to her today at the commission meeting, and then we've got this new fresh blood. But we're out and we're available. please talk to us. Tell us good things, but we love constructive criticism too. I can't speak for everybody. I welcome it personally.
It's a way to help determine, again, the future and make sure you're meeting all the various needs.
And this landscape of our community is shifting. I mean, I think we see it shrinking. School enrollment in the public school sphere is going to change how libraries look and function and the needs that they're going to need to meet. Come talk to us. Come let us know how we can help you through this process.
And you can become friends of Mybrary.
Come be a friend of Mybrary, please.
Yes.
Because I'm also the treasurer of the Friends of Mybrary, which is the fundraising arm for Mybrary, which helps fund a lot of our great programming. And, you know, that's a super fun bunch, and we're allowed to drink. So we bring the booze.
We should make sure it's just desserts. It's only once a year. Yes.
Well, and we're actually looking to expand into other things.
Nice.
So, you know, instead of one big, we still have just desserts is not going to go away. I don't want to start that rumor. That will always happen. But we would love to expand. And the only thing that's sort of stopping us from having more events is just bodies to get it done. So if anybody's interested in joining Friends, it's a very social group. It's low commitment. You know, we just ask for some enthusiasm, really. So come join us. We're a fun bunch.
And it's a great group if you're new to the community.
Yes.
This is something that I discovered early on because Mybraries or libraries, it's easy. Obviously, it's all access, but you'll find all kinds of different people. You'll find things in common right to begin with. But then you also find that civic sense. You know, if you don't know anybody in Elko, come to a Mybrary board meeting, but certainly get signed up for a Friends because you'll have meetings of Friends, right, Kassie? And
Absolutely. We are always meeting wonderful people. Some of them just want to volunteer for a specific event, so it's just a short time. But you also get to learn something about the community and maybe other organizations they're part of. Or I do believe the Friends will be joining the chamber and doing the wine walks again.
Yes, we will be
Perfect.
coming back to the wine walks. We took a little break when the DBA transitioned out of
existence.
I was trying to find the nicest way to say that.
It's okay.
So we had been doing the wine walks with them, and now we're going to join the chamber. So we will be back at the wine walks with our quirky little themes and our weird little jokes that we make. So
well, librarians
come
are
say hi to us.
a fun bunch. And if nobody has seen the documentary, the PBS documentary, The Librarians, that will give you a perspective about how fierce and how treasured and how significant librarians are and can be.
Speaking of PBS,
Oh,
I forgot to mention
about
this.
this.
Is this happening?
Yes.
I'm so excited because I didn't know I was going to talk to you after and say, you know, I made a phone call, he made a phone call, you guys connected.
Yes. So PBS is working with the Library of Congress,
Yay.
making a state-by-state series on libraries. And they did reach out to us, including Mybrary. We're listed in community favorites. So that actually airs tonight. We did send in photos, so I'm excited to see what comes up.
Nice. Community favorites. And I'm sure you can catch it online if you miss it over the air. But Kassie, did we get to all your topics today?
There's always something to talk about.
I'm telling you, yes, it's true.
So, if we had another hour, I have plenty more, but I think we covered the most important things today.
Just for today, and I'll get you scheduled for other shows because, yes, so happy to see you, Kassie Antonnucci, to get the bookmobile back up and running. Well, it will be soon, in a couple weeks, but you've got the driver, and that's the big thing. The repairs are made, and all the other things that are happening. Holocaust Remembrance in April, summer reading is coming soon. Spring extravaganza, April 3rd. It is budget season. You got to pay the bills. And then, of course, Friends of Mybrary. Anybody who has any questions about these topics, Tammi, Cracraft, Dickenson, chairs the Elko County Mybrary Board of Trustees,
Yes.
and thank you.
Reach out to me. I'm on social media. You can find me, just use my name, Tammi Cracraft Dickenson. I'm planning on getting my email on the Mybrary page. It just hasn't happened yet. But yeah,
you'll be there.
I was going to say give me a call, but I don't want to put my phone number on the radio.
Nobody wants to spend time on the phone anymore anyway. So, Kassie, thank you. And they can find you at 720 Court Street. It's always nice if people make appointments because you do have budgeting and stuff going on. Yeah.
Yes, but if I have time, I take walk-ins too.
All right. Kassie and Tammi, thank you for being on our program today.
Thank you for having us.
We look forward to our next visit with our Elko County Mybrarians, of course, and Board of Trustees representatives here on Elko Live on KELK. Thank you.